Yo, 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 what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Abdul is muted. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Happy Father's Day. Peace, 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 and love. Peace and love. Happy Father's Day. Abdul, you have to unmute yourself, my brother. Peace and love. Peace and love. Top of the morning. It is Sunday, man. June 16th. It is beautiful here in New York City, man. The weather is gorgeous outside, man. Simply gorgeous. And it's beautiful here with you guys. We are on all platforms. We are on YouTube. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. And we are on TikTok, man. Peace and love. Peace and love. So I will first say Happy Father's Day and then say I need help. I need tech support. I don't want to have to stream through all of these sites. I want to be able to stream through my website, right? I have StreamYard. I can set StreamYard up through my website. The whatever the key is, I can do all of that stuff, right? But I don't know how to do it. I tried. I've Googled. I've read the tutorial. I've watched the tutorials. I've read the things. I have not figured it out. I want to stream directly through my website. I paid for it, expensive service, and I have not been able to figure it out yet. So if anyone is out there, if another father is out there and you know how to do that, please help me. Please support me so that we can have a more cohesive, harmonious streaming experience. Yeah, pretty simple. Abdul, what's going on? You still says that you are muted. We are waiting for Dre to come on. Waiting for Andre. So we have two special guests today, man. Two very special guests. My brother Andre Apparicio is a father. He is obviously a son. He's an author. He is an advocate, man. He is like myself, formerly incarcerated. And not only is he a father, biological father, he is a father figure to many. He has helped many people transform their life. He has helped many people develop a healthy relationship with themselves, with their community, and even with their children, right? Specifically those fathers coming out of prison. Andre is doing great work in that space. Andre is also a father who lost a child. He had twins, a son and a daughter, and his daughter Asani transitioned after only 7 days. And so he has Andre days with Dre. We were just wait, repeat yourself for a second. Yeah, I got you. So we were just talking about Dre. He just came into the studio. But Dre has, incredible resilience. And as a man himself who is a son, he has done incredible things with his life, transforming his life, rebuilding a community, understanding the importance of family, not just biological family, but also family who we meet through the streets, right? Family who we meet through the gangs, right? Like getting our brothers and sisters in the streets to realize that there's nothing wrong with family. There's nothing wrong with coming together. It's about what you do when you come together, right? And that's one of Dre's biggest messages. So again, not only is he an incredible man and son, he's a dedicated father who is helping so many other fathers in so many ways. So we're going to bring him in a second and let him talk. Then we have Abdul. Abdul is an incredible human being, incredible son, man, living his life like on the front lines, like most of us, sharing his challenges, sharing his struggles, personal weight struggles, health struggles. But he has been committed to transforming his life and helping other people do the same. A lot of black men, a lot of black fathers. He's a son who lost a father. His father passed away, like me, like many of us. So it's gonna be a good discussion, man. Those who are in the chat, please comment. Again, if you lost a dad, if your dad died, if your dad went to prison, if your dad was never there, if you knew your dad and then he just left randomly, you don't know why. Like, this is a discussion for all of us to talk about that impact, right? Like, what impact does that have? And obviously the impact of the positive, the impact of the dad who lived, who stayed, who did the nourishing, who did the guidance, right? What impact did that have on your life? And for those who are fathers, like Dre, myself, my brother Ray is in the studio with me over here. He's a dad, also a son who lost a dad. He's gonna jump on in a second as well. The impact. How has all of that happened to our fathers? How has that impacted our fatherhood, right? And how do we navigate the co-parenting, whether we're married, right? Whether we're separated, right? Estranged, right? Like, it's a discussion for us. So we're gonna bring in Dre to do a welcome, say a couple of words before we jump into these questions. Gonna unmute Dre, man. Happy Father's Day, my brother. Peace and love.
Man, happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day, happy Father's Day to you all. Happy Father's Day to everybody watching, man. Just grateful to be here. Andre Apparicio, co-founder of Asani's Heartbeat Foundation, organization that's dedicated towards fighting reproductive justice through policy making, storytelling, and implementation. And also the founder of Dataport. The plug for dads is what I'm trying to be, trying to just connect the pieces. I don't want to do everything. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I just want to make sure that that wheel is sturdy to continue on going down the road. And so that's what I'm looking to do. But thank you for having me, man, and grateful to be here.
Of course, powerful. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Brother Abdul, what's going on, brother? Introduce yourself, man. Who are you? Where you chiming in from? And talk a little bit
Pe-
about your experience.
oh yeah, peace and blessings to everybody, and happy fathers to all the fathers out there. I am a vegan chef, influencer, content creator, editor, producer, author. Trying to change the world one day at a time with like you all doing. Trying to do things that a lot of us wasn't taught how to do. Today is a very emotional day for me, as well as a lot of people. Losing a father. Uh, Trying to become a man in a world that you know certain things that happens that you don't even understand, but later on in the future you get it. I'm 41 years old, so now I'm starting to see it. But that's about it. Just here trying to help, just like everybody else. Shout out to everybody in the live. I don't know, I couldn't hear you.
No, 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 no. Sorry. No, no. Keep talking. I was talking to the brother over here.
Oh yeah.
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 But no, thank you both. I mean, so let's you know me, I like to jump right into it. I think the brother is able to come in. Are you able to come in on your phone? We're gonna see if the other brother Razor can come in on his phone. I know sometimes StreamYard it gives some people with some phones a tough time.
Yeah, it
But
was giving me problems too.
yeah, I know that's why it's best to really use StreamYard on your laptop or computer if you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always best for that. But that's why I want to stream through my website because I think through the website is an easier process, right?
Yeah, nah, it's good. It got better though.
Okay, cool. All right. I
Yeah.
mean, so while he's figuring it out, if he's not able to jump in, he'll probably just I'll make space for him over here. Try to. Um. So fatherhood, right? We are all born of a father, right? Like, what was your experience like with your dad? Was your dad around? If he was around, what was that impact, right? Because also know that I've seen with my own eyes, like there are fathers who they don't leave, they're there in the house, but they take no role, they take no leadership role, right? Like they don't, like they have no guidance, they don't, like they may help with homework, they may, contribute to bills and things like that. But they don't guide, they don't give that spiritual guidance, right? They don't give that stern voice, right? Like they let the mother take the lead and they play the passive role, which is like, nah, like we both have to lead in this experience, right? But before we even go forward, just give brother Raymond, brother Razor Kelsey, he just was able to chime in. Well, you probably got to actually hold on one second. um So yeah, we're just gonna give brother Ray a quick chance to introduce himself when he gets set. He is just making a quick run. But as I mentioned, dear brother of mine, also a dad. He has three daughters. He lost his dad when he was young. He like many of us, because of that, went through a lot and had to learn on the fly how to be a young boy, grow into a young man, then how to become a father without your dad. Right? Is extremely tough, man. But we navigating. Um, but as soon as he's able to pull up. But yeah, what was that impact, right? Like I guess while we're waiting for him, what was that impact? What was your father's like in your life? I guess we could start with Brother Dre.
Mm. For me, I grew up with the experience of growing up with a dad that grew up without a dad, and I
Mm,
think that that was a whole other kind of like space because he didn't have that father figure in his life. Um, he took on the role of just trying to figure it out and not wanting to be like his dad.
mm,
And he was a immigrant, came over here from Trinidad when he was 12 years old, and had us probably like maybe 8, 9, 10 years later. So it wasn't really enough, time for him to really understand about the fatherhood thing. And it was interesting. It was kind of like growing up with like a big brother
mm.
that was more temperamental than you, to
Wow.
be honest with you. Everything with him was, if it's disrespect, you get straight to the point. People only understand violence. This, yada yada yada. But then I also seen the side of him that was like so community. My
Wow.
father was that he drive through Hollis. Big Al, yo, yo, yo. He's stopping every block. Never used to like to get in the car with him. He said, we going to the store. Bro, it all day I'm riding around with this man. People loved him. He loved to take care of the people. He did floors. Instead of hiring you, he wanted to show you how to do floors so you can go make your own money,
Nice.
and stuff like that. So it was interesting for me, but I think that was what was most profound was when I had got incarcerated, and I never forget, he came to visit me on the visit floor, and he looked at me and he said, "Damn, you here because I'm here because of the things I told you." You know what I mean? Like this is like my fault. And I had to tell him, like, bro, it's not like this is your second time around being the dad. If that was the case, I'd be like, come on, man.
Yeah.
We all learning together, bro. And I said, and I just think that we just need to learn to make better decisions. And that's
Mm.
all it is to it. Because this clearly ain't it. This clearly ain't it. And so, that was my experience. And I was like my homeboy at times when you need a dad, that ain't really good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then at times when, you want to just kick it and like, get to know your pops. Now he like, hey, look, it's a balance, it's a boundary here. You going too far. So it was a lot of up and down, man, and just that's kind of like why I see myself with all of these balanced things that I'm going with now. But yeah, that
So
was my experience,
nice. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so
man.
much, man. Thank you so much again. Thank you for the resilience, and thank you for one thing I like to say to people is it takes a special mind to be aware of where you are, where you may be falling short, right? Where you could improve in yourself, right? Let alone other, because it's easy to be like, oh, that person should have did that, that person should have did that. But it's special to be like, this is the role I played, or this is what I needed and didn't get. Because a lot of us don't know what we need, right? Um, but yeah, let's move forward. Before Ray introduces himself, let me just jump to Abdul. Abdul, what was your experience like with your dad? How old were you when he passed? Talk a little bit about your experience.
Oh, sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing.
Yep.
Say that one more time.
Yeah, how y'all doing? How you doing, brothers? Thank you for coming in. Yeah. So my dad died when I was 3 years old. So
Mm.
it was it was horrible because I have visions of him, and I have visions of my mom's running to the hospital with him, and then me just not seeing him no more.
Mm.
It was a tremendous loss because growing up as a man, what I looked to as a father was probably Bill Cosby, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, all these things, on TV, because I didn't have a man figure around. And then I did later on because I have a sister who has a father, so he came in, but I don't feel like he did anything because he was like, I guess he wasn't my stepfather because my mom didn't marry him, but he was just there. He was just a masculine figure, and he did teach me to just, you know, be righteous and stuff like that. But I have to give all the credit to my mother. My father, when he was here, he married my mom. He took care of my mom. He made sure my mom was good, and he died all of a sudden. So it was a tremendous loss because I didn't know what to do as a man in this world. And, it was times like I was like, damn, I wish my dad was here to tell me. So I would look to other men, to try to be just like them. But you can't be like them. You have to be like the person that made you. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's like over time, like I'm meeting like family members and they're telling me, yo, you look just like your dad. You did this just like your dad. And I'm like, wow, I would love to know a little bit more. I'm just learning more about my dad at the age of 40. So I didn't really know much about him. I miss him. I wish he didn't have to go, but I think he had to go because it was just God's time, like to just take him. We don't know why things are taken away from us, and it's unfortunate, and we ask why, but we don't know that. What if he was here? Maybe he would have did this, or maybe he would have did that, or maybe he wouldn't like me. Some people don't even, they have fathers, but their fathers is abandoned. They don't take care of them. They're not in their lives. So I just want to say that I'm just blessed to have had a mother to basically teach me all the values and things that I should do as a man today. But it probably would have been much easier to have that male figure in my life. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, like every Father's Day, every time I think about it, it really hurts me. Because sometimes I wish I knew I needed to know how to do something, but I didn't know how to do it, and I didn't want to ask somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to ask somebody because they're like look at you like what are you talking about? Like first time you with your first girl, you know what I'm saying? First time you playing sports, all of these things, and you go to school and you see these fathers and mothers together, but yours is missing. It was very hard, and I have to say that because we need a lot, you know, and I feel like without a father and a mother in your life, it could kind of mess you up. But like I said, I
Yeah.
think things happen for a reason. And when that happens, it's for you to figure it out on your own. And I did, thanks God.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, brother. So much love to you. It's um I remember when I first started going through a divorce, right? And I remember being in the old apartment with my ex-wife. And I was on the floor, like she had left, the children had went out, and I was just on the floor, like crying like a baby, right? Because I felt like I failed my children, right? Like I felt as a father, I felt as a man, I felt as a son, right? I felt as a leader in the community, right? Like Raymond Razor will tell you, he would be like, yo, you're such a great dad. And I'm like, nah, I'm not, right? I'm present, I'm there, but like I had no life insurance, right? I had no health insurance, I had no stable income. I just felt, and I was getting a divorce. I felt absolutely terrible. So like you, that was a time when I cried out, like I wish my dad was here, right? I wish my dad was here to say, boy, get up, it's gonna be all right, right? But then what I had to remember was that if he lived, which he did because I am proof that my dad was alive, then he is inside of me. So I was able to channel his voice. I was able to channel his voice. I was able to tell myself, boy, get up. Because what would my dad say? Like our Christian brothers and sisters say, what would Jesus say? What would my father say? My father would say, boy, get up. It's all right. Yeah, you might have messed up, but you're gonna be okay. It's not the end of the world, right? You ain't dead. The children are alive. They know that you're here. Now let's work on getting better from this moment forward. That's exactly what he would have said. He was a minister, a reverend, a business owner, came from the South. That would have been his voice, 100%. But let's bring the good brother Razor in. Razor, again, I introduced you. He is an activist. He is a writer. He is a father. He's a community leader, man. He is a brother to me, one of the smartest people, most powerful people I've ever met. Educator and so much more, man. Again, like you and I, Abdul also lost his dad. So Ray, talk a little bit about yourself, man. And talk a little bit about the impact, what your relationship was like with your dad and how his loss impacted you.
Can you hear me? Thank you for having me. Happy Father's Day to you guys. Um, Humble, very humble. Appreciate that introduction. I didn't grow up with my father because my father passed away when I was about 6 years old. And when I was when I was that young, I really didn't understand the impact that it had on me so much. So I missed my dad. I cried and I kind of missed my dad, but I was too young to really understand the impact that it had on me. And I had my uncle, God bless his dad, my uncle Rick, who kind of raised me as a son. But the older I get, I guess when I started having children, just not having any guidance, that's when it's hit me. I'm like, damn. I that's when I start realizing how much I really needed a father around. And like the brother Sugar Ray said, we would be we was growing up together and dealing with um being fathers, talking to one another, realizing like um the impact it had on us not having fathers and what our role as fathers really how important it is, so much so that we because realizing what it did to us missing a father, how much more important our role was to be good fathers, to be present, to be at our best. And to be honest, I can't I can't emphasize, it's like those commercials like priceless. I can't emphasize the value that it would have had on my character and who I am as a man. And you don't want to point blames, you don't want to point fingers and everything like that. But I understand now that if not for that, I would be a whole different person. A lot of the mistakes that I made, I highly doubt that I would have made those mistakes had I had some proper guidance from a father, you know. But conversations like this one and awareness, you know, and support about fatherhood and just is I think it's super important. So thank you guys, and thank you, brother Sugar Ray, for having me.
Of course, brother Ray. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One thing, I realized, and this is tough, right? So most of my life, right? My dad died when I was 11, and my dad was incredible. My dad was the dad, like my dad's name was Leroy, and in French it means Leroy, right? The king, right? He literally was a king, right? He created jobs for people through his cleaning company. When he would come get me on the block, if I was with my friends, he would, tell my friends to go ask their parents, and we would fill up in the back of the station wagon, all right? And so when he died, like he was my best friend, right? He was my hero for real. And when he transitioned suddenly as well, Abdul, I didn't know he was sick or anything. I cursed him, right? Like, how could you leave, right? And I cursed the universe, and then my life was really hard after that, right? And I was like, if my dad was here, I wouldn't have gone through this. But what I realized now at 40 years old is that all is divine. If my dad didn't go when he did, I would not be who I am today. Better or worse, I don't know. We can't. I'm not gonna roll those dice though, because it could be worse. Because one thing I do know, if my dad would have stayed, I would have never got in. I probably would have never got in trouble, right? I would have never started selling drugs as a youth, got in trouble. I probably would have graduated ahead of time, high school, went to college, right? Become a psychologist or attorney, or I would have made it to the NFL. But I would have had a lack of awareness to self, and I was so adventurous. I probably would have crashed a car because right, we had go karts. I love speed, right? So like I probably would have been drunk driving. I probably could have died like in a different way because of a lack of awareness of self. So my dad's transition and me going to the streets and having to go to prison and being shot and contemplating suicide, all that did was build a very strong sense of awareness, right? Of myself, of what to do, what not to do, what's dangerous, how to recognize danger, right? So my dad doesn't die. Maybe I'm dead at 25. Maybe I don't make it to 40 because I'm so spoiled and I have this aloofness, right, so to speak, kind of, right? But Dre, what you got to say to that, man? Because I know we speak often about that divinity, and not only have you experienced, you had a relationship with your dad that was topsy turvy, as you mentioned, but you as a dad now, right? Like, how has that impacted you as like your relationship with him? How do you now perceive as you raise your son and deal with the still, the ever present, very recent tragedy of your daughter? Like, how do you navigate that? You got to unmute
I
yourself.
got you. For me right now, like honestly, it's a day to day, moment to moment thing. I've learned to give myself a lot more grace. I felt like the moment I was expecting my children, I jumped into, oh shit, I got to do this, and this has got to be done by 9 months. Otherwise, I failed as a dad, you know. And I think that's because I never got to have that conversation with them. When I told them, hey, she's pregnant, it was, oh, all right, congrats. About damn time, but it wasn't no real conversation after that. And a lot of the things I learned not to expect from my dad, because I know he didn't get to experience that. And I know what I love about my pops is that he doesn't like share things of things he doesn't feel he's actually has knowledge about. He's like,
Mm,
look, this is not my area. And I learned that from him. And those things even align to this day with me and doing that and how it's gotten to me where it's gotten me. And like Sugar Ray said, my children were born at 24 weeks premature, and unfortunately, after 8 days, my daughter passed away, and my son was in the NIC unit for 148 days. Um, and so this is my first experience as a dad,
mm,
and a lot of things was taken straight from. I didn't get to hold my son until almost 2 months later.
mm,
Like, so you're walking into a space where every day they're like, hey, in real life, about 2 to 3 babies in the NICU die a day,
mm,
and it could be yours. and it was already your daughter,
Mm.
and so you're sitting here and dealing with this and being in a new space. I'm here in New Orleans. I'm originally from New York. I moved down here to be with my family. You know what I mean? And to really kind of build out and do what I wanted to do. Um, and I just feel like all of those things kind of align because my father is seeing how I'm dealing with things, and I'm noticing his evolution even in his late stage now in life.
Wow.
I'm looking and I'm just like, oh, there it is, and it just taught me that as much as we would love for the ones that we cherish, the ones our parents and stuff like that, to be absolutely correct at all times, to be absolutely perfect and all that. The same way they're the greatest examples of things to do, there's the greatest examples of things not to do. There's greatest examples of the way to learn and understand because they're technically going through it in a way that you can understand. So I just look at a lot of the things that my father has gone through and seen how he handled it, and don't ask like why he did that, but what made him do that, and trying to find that and looking in that in situations in myself and taking his examples and leading it with my son. My son's not even 2 years old, but if you say power to the people, he's going to raise his fist.
Yeah, he
You
is.
understand? And these are the things that I teach him, So I'm just grateful for that opportunity to really be in a space to say, you know what? I know better, so I must do better, and I must continue that. But also, I must remember where I came from, knowing that not all of these things should be looked at as something negative, like you said, Sugar Ray. These are building blocks. I'm a foundational brother, you know what I mean? There's just certain things that's got to be laid before anything else, and that's what kind of comes with it.
Yes, sir. Yo, Dre, thank you so much, man. Your insight, your wisdom is always so refreshing. Again, I love your humility. I love you see in this. I talk about grace and compassion often, and I spoke a little bit a little while ago about awareness. I don't know if you're aware of how what you just spoke about. You spoke about a few different things, right? Specifically, right, losing your daughter, your son could be, right, which was the toughest thing. But I don't know if you're aware of how seamlessly or how effortlessly you was able to say that, which is just a testament to your presence with that experience, which leads to healing. Not denying, not avoiding, but being very present with the experience. We've spoken, we've cried together, right? But through that pain, through that crying, it leads now to in a discussion where you can share that openly to whoever may be listening that can give them some sort of support. So again, thank you always for being an advocate and getting out of your own way in terms of your healing and your leadership, man. So thank you for that. I want to go real quick. I want to ask Abdul and Ray. Ray, I see you over there. I see you looking for something. I know you're the research guy. You like pulling stuff up. So I don't know if you was pulling stuff up, Ray. But Abdul and Ray, I guess we could go with Abdul first. Are there things about yourself, right, that you wonder where it came from, like where you can't pinpoint, like some things you may know come from your mother, right? Your mother's still there, right? Your relationship, but your dad passing young, maybe the way you walk, the way you respond to certain things, the way you think about certain things, like what has shown up for you in your adult life that makes you either know it came from your dad or wonder like, why am I like this? Yeah, take time.
Yeah, a lot of things that I went through, I didn't realize it was from my dad. Like for one thing, I'm an artist, and my dad is an artist. He used to
Mm,
draw all over the country, all over the states, and I draw too. But I use my artistry in a different way with food, turning food vegan and stuff like that. And also, my whole family was into real estate, and I went into real estate, and I didn't know. So it's crazy when you find out the things that you actually love. So back to what Ray said, like our dads are gone, but they actually still here because we're still living in their truth and who they are.
mm.
Because everything that my dad did, I do. Like last night, I was talking to my sister, and they begging me to go to the clubs and stuff like that. But I don't really like the clubs. So then my mom goes and said, "Yeah, your dad, he loved to be home under his wife, always, with mad pussy. Excuse my French." And I was like, "What?" So that shit was crazy because I was like, damn, I'm just like my dad. Um, Join is crazy. You know, it's crazy because I don't really talk much about this, but I did lose a child, me and my wife. So it really, really hurt, you know, because I'm like, damn, maybe it happened because I wouldn't know how to be a dad, you know, but I don't know. We don't know what the future hold. We could have babies until we vanish the earth. But everything that my dad did, I do. I walk just like my mom, which is crazy. And how do I know? Because when she walks, I watch and I hear it. And I'm like, yo, I walk just like my mom's. And I'm like, yo, that's weird to me. But then when I see a picture of my dad, and I'm like, yo, so that's the man, that's me. You know,
Mm,
this is me. Sometimes it used to hurt my mother because she, you know, I don't want to say this in a bad way because I love my mother to death, but she kind of tortured me a little bit because growing up, all she ever said was, "You look just like your dad. You look just like your dad."
mm,
You know, and sometimes I think it bothered her because he died so soon. You know, he was a provider. You know, he took care of everything. So my mom, you know, it did something to her. So growing up, all I ever heard was, "You look just like your dad. You ugly just like your dad. You ugly." And my dad ain't ugly, but because she was so agitated for the fact that, you know, he passed away and she had to take care of me by herself,
mm.
I think it bothered her. So
Yeah.
just knowing that I am just like my dad, she told me every single day. It was to the point like sometimes I wanted to die,
Mm,
you know, because I was like, how can I be like somebody I don't even know?
mm.
You know, I do
Yo.
know him, but 2, 3 years old, what what can you remember? You know, I know he was a businessman. I am an entrepreneur too, and I'm striving to be just like him in a weird way, you know. And I just wish I could have said I love you.
Mm,
Yeah,
powerful.
that shit hurt.
It hurt. It's okay, brother. Let it out. Let it out, man. Let it out, bro.
But you know, things always happen for a reason. Like you said,
Mm-hmm.
like if he was here, maybe I would have been bad. You know, maybe I would have been this, maybe I would have been that. So it's just us black men, like we need our fathers.
We need our
We
fathers.
need our fathers. Like I feel like I don't know.
Powerful. Yo, thank you. It's
Yeah,
okay, bro. It's okay. It's okay. Take a moment,
yeah.
drink some water, wipe your face, right? It's okay, let
Oh
it
yeah.
out. You know, we need our fathers, right?
Thank you.
Something my son told me recently, right? You guys all know the stuff with my children, right? We're
Oh
making
yeah.
some progress, right? Like I posted today, not where we want to be, but we're not where we were. But something my son said recently on the Zoom, right? He was dealing with some stuff. Him and his sister was beefing, all right, and he was dealing with some stuff, and he was frustrated, and he was really frustrated with her, with school, and with things like that. And I was talking to him, and again, you guys know, right? This is I have the one biological daughter, right? But my son is my son, right? Like forever, right? Through that form of marriage. But he said something. He said, "This is why I need you to help me through my problems." Like he said that he's 11 years old, about to be 12 this week, right? He'll be 12 on Thursday, but he said that out of his mouth, 11 years old. He said, "This is why I need you to help me with my problems." Right. But Ray, go ahead, brother. I don't want to take too much more time from you, brother. I know you was looking up some stuff. If you got some stuff you want to speak to what Dre said, take a few moments and then also address if there's anything that you recognize in yourself that you know come from your dad or that you don't know where it comes from. Go ahead, brother. You gotta unmute yourself. Ray, you gotta unmute yourself.
There I go. Yeah, Drake could have took the words right out of my mouth. Because I don't know. I've never I have very few memories of my dad. Like I said, he was murdered, died when I was 6 years old, and so I don't really have. I have very few memories, like one or two that I try to hang on to, but they few and far between. Um, when I was in a group home, some kids ripped up the only pictures I had of me and him because it's the group homes. But shit, I'm trying not to cry because this motherfucker.
It's okay, brother.
But shit is real, you know. It's just that real. But oh, like you were saying, the crazy thing is, my whole life, um, everybody who knew my father says you look and act. I've never been around this man in my life. You act just like your father. Uh, he was a nut. And so when I did some bad, crazy shit or whatever the case may be, they'd be like, yo, that's your dad, you know. Um, like he would walk around with a trench coat on with Superman drawers underneath and go outside and shit and just be outside. They're like, yo, you got a trench coat, and they be like, yeah, that's Ray. And I was known for doing weird things myself, but never met the man in my life. One strange thing that happened to me, I was in my mid-20s. I'm on the 4 train, like the next stop after 161st is 167th, between 167 169th, something like that. And I'm leaning up against the doors. The doors open. A guy gets on the train, and he's seen a ghost. And he's like, Ray, I never seen this man a day in my life. And I'm like, you know me from somewhere, son. He's like, your father was one of my best friends. And he's like, want to give me a hug. I'm sorry, you don't know me and all that, but I just want to give you a hug. It's like I seen your father, and gave me his phone number. And it's like anytime you need something, just give me a call. I never seen him again in my life. Probably lost the number, whatever. But that was weird. And everybody say, Lo, you just look just like him and you act just like him. God bless the dead. His mother, my grandmother, just passed away not too long ago. And I'm at the funeral. I said a few words, and somebody I never met was like, yo, thank you for talking, because it's like I see my friend again, your pops. And that was like, I always get those, but I can't like fathers, especially for men. I got 3 daughters, but just young men without fathers, we know here that's the reason why we're having a conversation. I can't even stress the importance that it is. We want to give up a lot of times. There's a lot of memes out there about how we don't get no love, or how we only appreciate it for what we bring to the table. And despite all of that, we've still managed to be like, F that. I know what it's like not to have a dad. I'm giving it all, despite all the crap it comes with. When we not our best, like I was telling Ray, man, this guy's a great dad. He don't want nobody cursing and giving his kids good diets. Me, I'm cursing around the kids, giving them bacon, egg, and cheese. And I'm like, Ray, you're a great dad, man. I'm getting all these accolades. People telling me I'm a great dad. He's like, nah, not enough, brother. I could do so much more. And I get it, and I get it. But I still think that we deserve our flowers, man. So again, I just appreciate you guys for allowing me to be part of this circle of such great, good brothers.
Of course, of course, of course. Appreciate you, appreciate you. I think we got a sister that's gonna come on and talk about how her father impacted her. I just sent her the link, right? Because fathers don't just have sons, right? And they don't just impact men, their presence or lack of presence. They have daughters, and their daughters are impacted, right? Those are our daughters, those become our wives, right? Those are our sisters, our cousins, our aunts. And so the role of a father spans across obviously genders, age, right? And one thing I wanted to mention, right? Ray, you talking about acting like your dad. Abdul, you talking about, your mom saying you look like your dad, right? Again, is DNA is so strong, right? DNA and consciousness, right? Consciousness. I think when we have children, we in some capacity impart part of our consciousness into them, right? Oh, give me 1 second. Sorry. We impart part of our consciousness into them. It gets downloaded into them, right? And so again, my dad transitioned when I was 11. My dad, when I was born, he had pretty much stopped like preaching. Like he wasn't doing it consistently. He would, I think, guest preach every now and then at a church, but he was more focused on the business. However, so I've never seen my dad preach, right? My dad had a bad stutter, and people say the only time he didn't stutter was when he was preaching, right? Completely different. And my dad didn't, like I said, he wasn't really in the church no more. He didn't give me the Christianity. He didn't like stuff the Bible down my face like he did with my older siblings, right? But more than them, like they look like him more than I do, but more than looks, my work is my dad's work, right? Like I have a ministry, right? Like this work that I'm doing with all of you guys, this is ministry, right? This is the love ministry, health ministry, right? Right, ministry of justice and freedom, right? Ministry of retribution and redemption, right? Ministry of health and wellness, right? Like this is ministry. So that was my father's work. My father was an entrepreneur. All of my siblings have legit careers, good job, but they have jobs. I'm the entrepreneur of the family, right? Of the children, right? And even down to some crazy. I remember telling Ray this. When I got married, right, my ex-wife had 2 children already. When my dad met my mom had 2 children already. Right? So like, and sometimes I don't know if that's why. I just like to think about like just those nuances, right? And I don't believe in coincidence. So like, yeah, man, DNA is strong, but even consciousness and even just the energetic exchange that permeates. So yeah, anybody want to ask something, you can chime in, man. If you want to ask each other a question, who want to chime in, just unmute yourself and come on in. Sis, I know the sis is watching. Sis Mecca, you coming in? Tamika Hall, Sister Mecca, are you coming in? Peace. If you are, I sent you the link to your messenger. You can click it and you can come into the studio, or if you just want to leave a comment. But yeah, Ray, you got something you want to add, Ray, brother? Dre?
I mean, I'll definitely say like at this in the same sense I was mentioning my father being stopped everywhere he goes, that I am now him. Everywhere I go, they like, yo, Dre, this. I got friends that's like, bro, I love you to death, but we can't never go from point A to point B. You got to stop. You the councilman, you the senator, you the resource man, you this. The other people will call me the network king and stuff like that. And I just watched my father kind of be who he was and how he built relationships and all of those things. And really started looking at it from a business side. And it was just like, wow, great business relationships aren't anything but great rapports on documents. You know what I mean? And that's all that is. And so, I just hope to just take those things, especially that my father instilled in me, like, yeah, you can go and work a job, you can go to school, you can do it, but just make sure you enjoy it, you know?
Right.
And that's my one thing that I share, and especially brothers, man, like, be a master of your time for real. Time is so important. It's the first thing they clock when you come into this earth, and it's the last thing they clock when you leave. It's time is so important. That's why they pay you by the hour. Time is so important, man. That's why they give you time because they know what you can do with your own time.
Crazy.
And you got to invest and value your time way more than they invested in trying to get your time. And when you have that time, do with it as you please. There's been a lot of just I don't even know what to call it, but it's past brainwashing. It's just a lot of things that are just compound things, and you know what you feel as a man, and when your fears and the anxieties and all of those things are low, man, then your conscious and your brain is high, and you can continue to kind of make those decisions in the best light. So be you, love
You,
you, man, and invest in you.
yo, Dre, you bro, you are again, honor to your dad, right? Because like his DNA, right? And then his dad before him, right? And obviously all of the other dads and fathers in your lineage. Because when I listen to you speak, bro, like, like I don't even know how to explain it, but every time I hear you speak, and I wanted to say this to you before, but because again I still couldn't explain it. You speak like you are still so engaged in your youth, right? You still very youthful, but you speak like you've been here for centuries, bro. You speak like the wisdom of like of like a 300-year-old man. Right, like, but like, of like but like a 2-year-old, like a 2 year, like it's the craziest thing, bro. Like I know so many fathers, but your ability to blend your youthfulness with your maturity and your wisdom is unmatched, right? So thank you for being you and for tapping in that way, right? So I want to move. I got a few questions, right? I got another question. I want to go to you, Abdul. I want all of you to answer this, but I want to start with Abdul. What do you think, right, from everything that you have learned about, being a man now, right, losing a child, right, having a father who died when you were young, everything that you learned about manhood and what you perceive necessary for fatherhood from your own personal experience, what you didn't get, what you wish you needed, right? What do you think are three keys or three essential components of a father, of a good father?
Mm. That's whoa. That was deep. Hmm. Responsibility.
Mm.
Definitely responsibility. Um, accountability of something that you should have did that you didn't do, and strength. I would have to say because those are the key things to me in being a good dad, and because there was a lot of things that my mom told me that my dad did. And again, it's crazy because my mom told me, it's like my dad was gentle. I remember she said that one time, her brother tried to hit him with a car, and he looked at him, and he just looked at my mom's, and he said it's all right, and he walked away. But the thing about my dad was he was very dangerous, and I find that I have that too, because he's the type of person that you ever see somebody that's quiet and you're like, oh, they good, they this, they that, but you don't even know they like a Assassin Creed type
Yeah.
Denzel Washington. That was my dad. Like, he would just look and everybody knew not to do it, but he wasn't like a harsh, like you see, like how I am, like I'm very sweet, kind, nurturing type of dude. You know what I'm saying? He was just like that, but my mom said that the thing about it is that he was very dangerous. So I find like sometimes I needed to that's what I needed from him. Like, how did you control that? How did
Mm.
you content that? Because there's times that I gotta like talk to God, you know what I'm saying? Because there's certain things that I'm gonna do and I just can't control it, so I would have to say that, that. But I think that comes over time, because I think once I passed 35, I started to see like more clearly, like it's like my dad was talking to me like through my body, through my genes, like you said, like through DNA, like he's telling me, nah, don't do this. Sometimes I do hear voices. I don't know if it's God, I don't know if it's him, I don't know, but I always hear him say stuff, it's weird, like, yo, I'm proud of you, and I'm like, damn, and then I just start crying,
Wow.
because I'm like, yo, where that voice came from.
You ain't crazy,
Maybe
my
it's the
brother.
right, maybe it's
You
the
ain't
Mary Jane, I don't know, but I'm
crazy.
just saying, like, yo,
She does speak
you
to you,
know.
baby. She be speaking. She be chatting. Woo!
Yeah, so I have to say accountability, strength, and definitely compassion. I know you said three, but those are the, I think, because those are the three I would have to as well: for compassion, accountability, strength, and what else did I say?
You said responsibility.
Responsibility. Very,
Nice.
you know, big part.
Powerful. Powerful. Thank you for that, brother Abdul.
Of course.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Brother Ray. Brother Ray, chime in. You are a dad. You are a dad of three daughters. You are an uncle, man. You have helped with my children. You've helped so many children in so many ways, man. What are three essential components for a father, in your opinion?
Patience is number one.
Yeah.
That's patience. It's a old proverb that goes, patience is the essential quality of a man.
Mm.
And I measure myself like that. So when I'm impatient, I say I'm being immature or childish. You want to wait. But um strength, like you said, fortitude, because um we have physical strength, and we like to, but it's the different kind of strength. It's a don't use my physical strength. It's a fortitude. It's like a mental strength, like a resistance
Mm.
to do things. It's like growing up. Um, so I would say patience, fortitude. I don't know how to express it, but I got three, right? When I had my first daughter, I was very careless. In my mind, I was a good dad because I was present, and I was doing my best. But I would be embarrassed to say some of the things that I did with my first. Like I would never do it. Like, for example, I used to drink beer. I don't drink beer. I used to drink malt. I don't even want to shout out no brands. I used to drink some garbage. Old school.
Old school. Real old school from the Bronx too. Bronx old school.
Y'all don't remember Cobra? I remember Cobra.
Yo, I was on that level. I never drank the Cobras, but I was drinking Say Nas. I ain't gonna hold you.
And Colt
I used to drink
45.
Say Nas.
We had a
And
couple of Colt
I thought
45
it
from
was alright until I got to Queensbridge and they was like, yo, you drinking Damies? I was like, what's that? They was like, shit you drinking, we don't Damies. Don't do that. And but I'm embarrassed to say, like, when I was younger, you be partying with the old folks and they give you a sip of wine, like to go
Yeah.
to sleep or something, or give you a drink. And so I had my daughter with me. I didn't drink wine or no alcohol. Like I
You gave
drank,
him a
I would
liquor.
give a little bit of St. Nas. That's just right now. None of my other kids, but stupid shit like that. So
Yeah, yeah, it's real.
I think I said patience, fortitude. I think you gotta have a will to
To
like be a student again. Like know that you ain't got it. You ain't perfect.
you ain't got it all figured
It's
out.
not. It's a difference from patience, right? Kind of like I mean, like
What's the word?
be okay with your mistakes.
Hmm.
You know, be okay with yourself.
Trust the process. Trust the
Uh,
process.
I guess those are the three main components because it ain't no real. Your basic instructions before leaving Earth. The Bible. You ever heard that acronym? It's
Yeah.
bullshit. The Bible don't help you. I mean, I'm no disrespect, but it don't really got no instruction. They don't tell you, yo, when your kid don't listen, do this. None of that. So it's a learning. Like you learn as you grow. My grandmother, she never did drugs or anything like that. All her kids did drugs. you know, she did her best. So it's just like you never know, but
Yeah.
as long as you're doing your best,
Hmm. Got you. Yo, appreciate you, brother. Thank you for sharing. Yo, brother Dre, man, chime in, chime in. What are three essential
Man,
components of a father, of a good father?
I mean, I just think that they touched on you know those areas. I think that it's so many overlappings. That's why you can say so many different things. I mean, for me, just in general, as a human being, being emotionally aware um, of yourself helps you make better decisions. I realized when before this fatherhood, I was so impulsive when it came down to my emotions. Like, you know what? If I feel this way, then it probably is. And then when you start to realize feelings ain't facts,
Feelings and facts.
and so being aware of that, and then I had to be emotionally intelligent, saying to myself, feelings ain't facts. And then I would also say just being having emotional expression. Stop holding that in, man. Like we have to find a way to kind of really talk about those things, and that ties into the vulnerability of it all. When my daughter passed away, honestly, I was into a shock, and I was clear because I was looking at my Facebook from when that time happened, and I'm sitting there and I'm looking like, when did I even write this, or what the fuck does this even mean? Like I'm just like, um, but I knew that I wasn't the only one living in a state like Louisiana where they have the highest immortality rate. These things happen often. And one of the first things that I thought was strange at first, and now that I see as I built data poured out, wasn't strange, was the fact that I said, I ain't the only dad this happened to here.
Mm.
You know? And so it was just like, I'm gonna express this, and as I did that, I seen that my vulnerability helped so many other people be expressive about that. So I just ask that you express yourself in spaces where you feel you're supported, because there ain't no real thing as such thing as a safe space. You can't just sit in a space and call it safe, and it is. That's just not how things really work. This is a space where you can be strong enough to share what you want, and I'm okay with you saying that. So find you one of those spaces, where you can share and you can find out that yes, everything may not be exactly how it is, but there is some ways that we all can help each other in our journeys, even though our stories are different. You know, and so, you know, I would just say that emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, and emotional expression, along with accountability, responsibility, which all of those things correlate and tie into. It's just different levels of it.
Mhm. Nah, absolutely, absolutely, man. Thank you for that. Um, one of the impacts of fatherhood, right? I realized, right, with my children. So, my brother, my daughter was born 2016 November. My brother passed 2018 March, right? So my daughter was a little, close to a year and a half, right? One of my oldest brothers who did mad time in prison came home, right? Stage 4 cancer. He died year and a half, 2 years later. But I was devastated, right? So my daughter was year and a half, almost two. My son then was 8. My son 2018. My son was 6. My son was 6, right? I'm devastated, right? I'm heartbroken. I'm crying in front of them. And I lost friends, and I lost a sister in 2016 before my daughter was born. All right, so a lot of pain. But I remember my brother came to Queensbridge. Ray, you met my brother, right? At 76, he was picking up the children from school, and he was great. He had a great impact on them, right? In his short year and a half, 2 years, he had an incredible impact on them. So when he passed, they were like, "Where's Uncle Anthony?" Right? So now I got to think, right? What do I say to them right now? Do I, like a lot of our parents? Oh, they went with God, or say something that's like real abstract that doesn't hit with what people did to me when my dad passed. Like, oh, he's with God in a better place. I'm like, better place? What better place than with your son? Right? So what I did, what spirit spoke, right? And my dad spoke through me, how I can communicate to my children. I asked them, I said, if you could be a superhero, if you could have any superpowers, what would your superpowers be? I think my son said run really fast. My daughter said like jump really high or fly or something like that, right? To jump really high. I said, that's great. Cool. I said, but what if you had the ability to become invisible? What if you could leave your body when you want it and be everywhere at the same time, including inside of people that you love? Would that be? They said, wow, that would be really cool. I said, that's what Uncle Anthony did. Uncle Anthony became a superhero, and he left his body, but he's inside of you. He's inside of me. He's in the trees. He's in the wind, right? Because that's the truth, right? Life is everlasting. Life is eternal. So part of the role of a father is to teach the truth, right? Know the truth, learn yourself as a father, as a man, right? And as it stands in this universe, in this galaxy, on this planet, and then teach that truth. Don't sugarcoat things. Don't be brutally honest, right? But be lovingly honest. We ain't got to be brutal no more. We ain't in the caves. We ain't be lovingly honest and teach your children the truth. So now that impact, what that impact has had now, on my daughter specifically, right? Saying that, Uncle Anthony's a superhero. He's always inside of you, even when you don't see him, right? And then I wrote a book to my daughter, and in a book I wrote poetry like that. Even when you no longer see your mother or your father, know that we're inside of you. Know that we're here, right? We did all of that stuff, right? And so now, hold on 1 second. So now, when all of this time passes and we don't see each other no more, right? Now this is the difference of my son not being biologically mine, him having me giving him the wisdom, but my daughter having my DNA. My son was like, I thought I would never see you again, right? My daughter was a little confused, but she was like, I knew we would be together again, Papa, right? Because like I told her that it's in my DNA, but I also let them know that like even when I'm no longer here physically, I'm still with you. And if I'm alive, eventually we'll be back together again. Don't worry about the how long. Don't worry about the when, right? As we say about our goals, right? Don't worry about how long it's going to take. Don't worry about when it's going to happen. Just do your part every day. Show up, do the steps, do what you know you need to do. And when it's time, it will happen. Same type of thing, right? So I just wanted to share that like impact, right? How when we teach one thing, our children, we internalize it and then we can use it in other ways. So that's why it's important to be there and to teach everything that you've learned. Raymond Razor's writing a book, right? He talked about the Bible basing instructions. He started writing a book called The Words of Raymond Kelsey, where he's writing his guidance to his children. And I think that's something that we all should do, is what do we want them to know most, right? So yeah, man, we're gonna get off here in a couple of minutes. Is there any last words that anyone would like to share? Let's start with you, brother. Abdul, you wanna go first, brother?
Nah, go ahead. You could
Okay,
you could
yeah,
go ahead.
we just go back to brother Dre. Start how we started, brother Dre. Any last words, man? Last comments, last words of advice, wisdom.
Man, listen, man. I was just grateful to see uh, you and your little lady, man. That was just it made my Father's Day, man. And I just want everybody to, just be aware of all the decisions that we're making. Lost one of my original foundation homeboys, uh, and he was a father too. Father's Day weekend. So I'm like in a lot of mixed emotions right now. Obviously with my own personal situation, all of these things is compound. But like you were saying, right? Like just wanting to be that example for him, and I kind of like love this experience of fatherhood right now because I'm looking at my son and I'm seeing how life does really reverse. Because even though he's only 2, when he wants something, he's swinging, screaming, kicking, stiffing up his body until he gets it. And I have to be the same way when I want something for him. You know what I mean? And I
Yeah,
just take that and hey, I lead by example, and clearly he leads by example. And like when I was locked up, and I always say it, man. An old timer told me slow motion's better than no motion, man. So
yo,
as long
fact.
as you chipping away at whatever it is you're working on, don't worry about it. Don't worry about the win. Worry about the win. All right. And just have a blessed one, man. Happy Father's Day, and I appreciate sharing this space with you fellas, and hope we can do this more often, Dan, for real.
Yes, sir. For real, for real, for real, for real. Maybe monthly or something like that. But brother Abdul, man, any last words, last comments, words of advice?
He's brother Andre. Dre said something um that we don't really talk about. Uh, he said about emotions, and he's right. Cause I remember like trying to figure out, can a man have emotion? Because growing up, oh, stop being a little, what I'm saying, man up. So I remember when my daughter died, or my son, because we really didn't know. I looked at my boy, and he looked at me, and then I wanted to cry, but I was so embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? And he looks at me and he goes, "Bro, monsters don't cry." You know what I'm saying? Like, and he said that shit, and I just looked at him. No, and then he said monsters. He said some shit about like basically you supposed to cry. So then I looked at him and I just cried, and he said it's okay. He said that, and when he said that, he also he's a foster child. He didn't have a father too. So for him to have said that, it taught me so much, because a lot of us didn't have that, masculine energy to tell us it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. So I used to like keep it inside and not let nobody see my emotions, but I was just an angry person. So I say to everybody, look, it's okay. It's okay to like my brother right here said, Ray. He said something about giving his daughter. We all did that. When they growing teeth, you gotta rub some rum in that shit. I don't know. We all did that. So don't ever feel like what you did was wrong. Just understand that everything is experience. Your experience. So now you know what to do and the next time. You know what I'm saying? So I think you guys are all phenomenal. I would love to do this all the time, and definitely happy mental illness month, because this is men's illness month. A lot of us don't talk about that. Us men, we're just pushed to the side. Like, we're like, oh yeah, they'll be all right. Nah, we not all right. We not all right. So these types of conversations and panels will show the world what we need, and more brothers could come in and sisters as well, because like you said, we all come from a father, right? So we all should be on the platform talking about this. And thank you so much for allowing me to be in y'all presence. Like, I appreciate it. Shout out to y'all.
Sorry, thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Brother Ray, man. Any last words, comments, anything you want to add, my dear brother, man?
Thank you, brothers, for having me. You, brother Abdul, brother Dre, pretty much wrapped. Said the most. Appreciate you guys. That mental health part was a lot, like really important because, um, especially in our community, man, we don't even go to the regular doctor like we supposed to, but we supposed to go to the doctor on a regular basis. And mental health is just important as physical health, and we totally neglect it. Like, we go to even a dentist at least twice a year. Get out, make sure we don't go to the mental doctor ever unless they tell us we crazy, and we really supposed to be going, especially when we don't have support groups for anything that we've ever been through. The trauma of growing up in the 80s and 90s, not having fathers, um, to just the just that alone, not having a father, and just being part of a lost a new community. You know, they stole a stolen legacy type thing. Jim James to all right, they stole it. Now what? We make new, and so we all pretty much leaders and paving the way for our kids and stuff like that. My favorite saying is we were talking about fortitude. Um, about being okay with making mistakes as long as we keep pushing. I don't want to say like I love to give us our flowers, but I don't want to let up on us. We need to apply more pressure on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Because we understand our value, and if we understand our value, we put our value to use. We don't, we protect it. You know what I'm saying? We let it be known like this is valuable. Don't touch. You know what I mean? We take care. We take care of our valuable, and it's not and it's the value of a father is priceless. You know, um,
Yeah,
thank you guys once again. Thank you, brother Ray.
of course. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brothers. You brothers are all incredible. You are three of my favorite humans, let alone my favorite brothers, right? It's my favorite people. Love you guys for very different reasons, but also for similar reasons, right? Reasons like this. You guys are level-headed. You guys are determined to be better, right? And just I want to add, right? Impact of a dad. You spoke about mental health. My dad passed. I was 11. I wanted to kill myself right after that, right? I wanted to kill myself because I was in so much pain and I felt my mother didn't understand. I felt like she didn't care, at that time, obviously. I felt like no one else understood but my father. So I just wanted to be where my dad was at, right? Like I dreamt about jumping off the roof, right? Because I just wanted to be where my dad was at. If my dad was dead and my dad was with God, wherever that is, I want to go there and meet him, right? I didn't want to live any longer without him. But again, through all of the trials, tribulations, I realized that it was all divine. I was able to become liberated, right? Liberated myself with the support of so many people and just nature, right? And nature's good graces. And we still here, man. We still here through all of the pain, through all of the trauma, through losing our dads, through having little to no memories of our dads, to all of the things, man, to being a dad, losing a child, right? We are still here. We are persevering. We are sustaining our resilience. And I think the key is that we all have love in our hearts. So as long as we continue to love ourselves, love our people, man, we're going to be all right. Yo, I love you guys, right? Happy Father's Day, man. Do the best that you can today with what you have and where you are. Know that your brother here is always a message, a phone call, a text away. And let's keep building, brothers. Enjoy your day. Take a moment for yourself, right? Enjoy your families, man. Enjoy the memories, right? And peace.
Peace.